Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, back here with a big game breakdown for the Tuesday night NBA card. Going to look at the Pelicans and the Brooklyn Nets. New Orleans Pelicans quietly becoming one of the better teams in the NBA. And I say quietly because this has not been a contender in recent years. And just to show how much better they've gotten this season, look at their road record. They're now 15-5 their last 20 games since dropping three straight back in late January. They've gone 15-5 since. But what I really like is the fact they've been one of the best road teams in the Western Conference this year. And they're already 15 games above 500 with two more wins to reach that lofty mark. Will be the first time since 2011 seasons. This is a team on the uptrend. With Zion healthy and in the lineup, they're definitely a playoff contender, even maybe a championship contender. And for that reason, if you're going to play it, I would lay it tonight with the Pelicans minus the 7.5 points currently as we check the Wager Talk live odds screen. Nets, meanwhile, are a team you really have to look to fade. Brooklyn's now lost 5 of their last 6, both straight up and against the spread. The only win during that span was an upset win against the inconsistent Cleveland Cavaliers. They lost outright, though, at Detroit and Charlotte. And then they finished the road trip by losing 3 straight: Orlando, Indiana, and San Antonio. So now they return home with just 1 day of rest. They haven't been home since March 5th. This is another negative situation. And we talk about this a lot in baseball. Home dogs off extended road trips do the worst. I think it makes sense. It applies to the NBA as well. The inferior team is at a disadvantage, especially with distractions. And the best part of this is we get to lay a discounted price with New Orleans, laying a couple baskets less because they're on the road. Yet they're, as I said earlier, one of the best road teams in the NBA. In fact, on the season, now 21-13 on the road compared to 20-13 at home. So lay it if you're going to play it with the New Orleans Pelicans minus the 7.5. Tips off at 7:40 Eastern tonight on Tuesday.
Charlotte takes out Orlando tonight in Game 3 of this Southeastern Series over at the Kia Center, with the Magic not only holding a 2-0 lead against the Hornets in this series so far this season, but more importantly, being on a run that has seen them win 16 of the last 21 games outright to sit 5th in the current Eastern playoff standings. The Magic do, however, face a tough upcoming schedule in which to maintain that current playoff ranking as they host the New Orleans Pelicans, Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors, and LA Clippers all across the next 10 days down in Florida. All playoff caliber teams, obviously, and all coming to Florida in quick succession after tonight's game against Charlotte. Such a tough upcoming schedule for Orlando might prove beneficial for Charlotte tonight, though, who are currently drifting in the East right now, obviously. But, you know, they're playing hard nonetheless, covering in 3 of the last 5 games overall and winning 2 of those 5 games outright as well. From a pure power rankings perspective in this one, I actually make Orlando around an 11-point favorite tonight on home court against Charlotte. So getting plus 13.5 on this one does present some value here just from a straight numbers perspective, you know, at least according to my data. But when you factor in Orlando's difficult upcoming schedule on top, plus the fact Charlotte actually ranks as a top 10 team across the last 3 starts in defensive efficiency also, you know, even with all of the Hornets' current injuries right now, you know, getting 13.5 here, I'm going to take a shot with Charlotte to cover this line later tonight against the Magic. In terms of a best bet, I'm going to instead look over towards the Northwest and focus on the game between the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves tonight in Minneapolis. But before I do, I just want to mention that the Champions League soccer quarterfinals and Europa League quarterfinals are only a couple of weeks away. We've had an absolutely outstanding season over in Europe across the UEFA competitions, ranked number 1 at WagerTalk, 17.7% ROI across all of our European bets to date. So it's been a great season. Get on board our special end of season UEFA pass that gets you Champions League, Europa Conference League, 3 entire competitions for one low price when using code UEFA79. As we look to close out the season strong before the Champions League final takes place on June 1st. Returning to our best bet, I'm going to take a look at the Denver Nuggets to win a cover on the road tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves over at the Target Center. You know, Minnesota have been playing well of late, no question. 4 wins from the last 6 games overall, all coming on the road for them as well, including 3 straight against the Utah Jazz and LA Clippers, respectively, also all coming by double digits. But delving into the numbers here, you know, the T-Wolves own the league's second best average score margin behind Boston across that recent run. They have also been pretty strong in that area across the season as a whole, but, you know, especially across those last 3 games. Their 3-point shooting percentage has been second behind only Boston as well. Their overall offensive efficiency rating as well, jumping from a season-long 18th spot, all the way up to second behind the Celtics across the last 3 games. Completely unsustainable numbers here. And when we talk about unsustainability in the league, none more so than Minnesota's turnover margin across recent games as well, with the Timberwolves owning the league's best turnover percentage across their last 3 starts. Yet, when we take the season as a whole, they rank 22nd. So, that's a huge difference there. They put up 5.3 fewer turnovers on average last time out against Utah in, a display. I just find it very hard to believe that they'll be able to continue here, especially against a solid Denver team. So the Timberwolves have been impressive, no question, over the last few games, but I believe they're in for a bit of a rude awakening, returning home tonight against a fired-up Denver team, looking to leapfrog them in the Western Conference standings, along with Minnesota's injury concerns ahead of this one as well, plus the short rest factor playing last night. So give me Denver tonight, -7 to win and cover on the road against Minnesota. Best bet.
Steve Merrill back with a free play best bet for Tuesday night pro basketball. We're going to look at the Mavericks and the Spurs in just a moment. The Battle of Texas coming up, a free play for you for Tuesday night NBA. Quick reminder, though, this is the week to be talking college hoops. Everybody comes out of the woodwork. They get ready for March Madness for the NCAA tournament. But I've been doing this consistently this time of the year for the past 28 years as a full-time professional handicapper. So nothing's new for me. It's like clockwork. My NCAA tournament bracket is ready. Selections in all 68 games through the entire tournament. Bonus upset pick as well, a double-digit upset pick, a long shot, along with my national championship prediction. You get the prediction for every single matchup in the NCAA round of 64 on right now at WagerTalk.com. My March Madness bracket special is available, and you get it as part of the college basketball season if you're already a client. But if not, you can buy the bracket solo. But don't forget about the lesser tournaments. The NIT starts tonight on Tuesday, and I do have a strong Tuesday night NIT best bet as well. Check all of that out right now, along with a bonus-free college basketball play, bonus-free college play for Tuesday. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. All right, let's look at that free NBA play tonight. Goes at 8 o'clock Eastern. And this time of the year, I like to use teams that are in good current form, better teams on the road against bad home teams. We always get a discounted price on the road by a couple baskets, and I think that applies to the Dallas Mavericks tonight, minus the 8.5. And I have no problem fading one of the worst teams in the NBA, the San Antonio Spurs. They remain at home, just played a game in Austin against Brooklyn, a little come from behind win there, but they're not a good team. If you look at their recent results, they were just 1-5 straight up before that win against the Brooklyn Nets. And Dallas is a team you do not want to be facing right now. They've been kind of treading water all season. Doncic in, Doncic out. He's listed as probable tonight. I do expect him to go. Keep an eye on that, but I do think he'll be in the lineup. But the Mavericks, more importantly, 5-1 straight up their last 6, a perfect 6-0 against the spread, and they have been a real moneymaker here in the month of March. I think it continues tonight. They're rested. It's a 1-game road trip. They'll be back at home against Utah on Thursday, so this is a focus spot, and they really have dominated this series. So far this season, they're a perfect 3-0 against the San Antonio Spurs. They had a close game way back in October, won by 7, but they've crushed them since. Late December, they won by 25. And they won easily by 23 in the February meeting a month ago. And I think they sweep them and get their 4th straight win tonight. Hottest team in basketball, focus spot. They're still trying to avoid the play-in round of the playoffs here. So Dallas has plenty on the line, rested on both ends of this. They will not overlook one of the weaker teams in the league. Dallas Mavericks minus the 8.5 is your free play tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern in the NBA. And don't forget, my strongest play tonight comes in college hoops, NIT action for you, along with a bonus NIT play for free on my page right now. College hoops is here, March Madness, and don't forget about my NCAA tournament bracket as well. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.